Welcome to Charts Today. My name is David Linton, and today's edition for Friday, the 8th of September, comes to you from London. And we start by looking at the dollar really sinking lower still. So lots of things happening in the world, and our hearts go out to everyone in the Caribbean suffering hurricane at the moment. But we see here that we are just testing new lows. The dollar just sinking lower. A little bit of respite this morning, but making new multi-year lows on the dollar index. So it's all about dollar weakness, and we're seeing euro strength here. Euro rising above 120, quite a critical level yesterday on better news out of Eurozone. So we are just seeing that the euro is dominating now, and that's a real reversal of fortunes. We're not quite above the long-term resistance, but that looks almost set to be smashed now. Looking at the Japanese yen, we see here the dollar weakness really showing through, yen strength. So yen looking very strong. Sterling is actually looking quite strong against the dollar at 131.45. So that's it was much as high as 132 several weeks ago, and that's now the level we're aiming for. This 134.30 level is the ultimate level for the long-term chart on sterling against the dollar. And if we look at sterling against the euro, it's sitting at 109. So just looking a little bit stronger there, but the euro really has the upper hand, medium and long term. Looking at the Swiss franc, sterling's just struggling a little bit here, and against the Australian dollar, it's down. Australian dollar strength, a real theme there. The S&P 500 index in the US last night was fairly flat, but we're just holding the bull trend on all three trends, so it's still looking pretty good. The Nasdaq also quite flat, and we're seeing Nasdaq really just nudging new highs here over the last few days. So stock market's still looking fairly resilient. The Dow just struggling slightly, and the Russell 2000, which over the last several months has been an underperformer, is actually looking pretty good the last several weeks, and we're looking pretty bullish there. The futures also looking okay, and the Nasdaq E-mini down 0.27% at the moment, so it does suggest that the Nasdaq might open a little lower today. FTSE 100 really in the doldrums, just struggling. So it's just still medium term and short term weakness. FTSE needs to make new highs basically, and the FTSE 250 down very sharply this morning. So we're seeing here an effect there as well. And the DAX is looking quite strong, which is surprising on that strong euro, but the DAX is looking quite bullish. Sentiment for Europe is improving. The Nikkei testing new lows, that stronger yen having a real effect, and it looks like we will go bearish on the daily Ichimoku chart. We're just on the lagging line at the moment, and so that's where we tend to see a move to bearish territory, and of course the Japanese will be watching the Ichimoku chart quite closely. The Hang Seng Index is just holding up, and Shanghai also just holding up. It's just flat. And the Sensex down very, very slightly, but still the Indian market, medium and long term, looks to be one of the best stock markets in the world. Australian market really in the doldrums, just testing this support level, so looking a bit lower there. Brent crude is up slightly this morning, so the short-term uptrend in crude continues. We've got upside targets now of 55.50 and 57, so as much as 1.5 to 4.7% upside potential there. So crude oil, the outlook looking better all the time. That weaker dollar, of course, helping, and we're seeing the same in the WTI chart, just a bit flat at the moment, not quite as bullish as Brent. US nat gas back below $3, sitting at 297. So we're just still in a bearish trend there on the short term. Copper, a bit of a sharp sell-off over the last day or two, but still an amazing chart. Heating oil just popping now to make that two-year high. So on heating oil, we are just seeing two-year highs clicking in, looking much stronger. Looking at coffee, looks like we might be seeing that turning the corner up 1% this morning, just coming through the cloud. Cocoa looking better as well. Cotton also looking better on the short-term chart. Sugar just holding the bull trend, but still has to do work to get through the medium term. Wheat looking quite strong, been quite volatile the last few days, and soybeans Much the same picture here as well, just looking better. So soft's generally looking better, and corn also off the bottom. Of course, the big story has been gold. We're now into the 1350s. We've got targets into the 1360s. 1367 seems to be the target. That's now only $12, $14 away. So not far to go. Gold really gunning for testing this high of 2016 at about 1375. We shouldn't be surprised to see some resistance there. Silver also looking very bullish. This weaker dollar, of course, helping there. US 10-year Treasury yields 2.03%, so really about to cross this psychological 2% level. The outlook for US interest rates was pricing in more rises, but the 10-year yield's telling us that we're not likely to see any further rises in US rates for a while. Apple still holding its bullish trend. Google also looking quite bullish. Amazon also, and Facebook turning the corner here, is looking quite strong. Just really lots of upside targets. Need to make the new all-time high to run there. And last of all, we look at Microsoft. Microsoft also has good upside targets and looking very strong in the short term. That's it for today. Until Monday, happy charting. See you then.